late coffee and oranges in a sunny chair, and the green freedom of the cockatoo upon a rug mingle and dissipate. The holy hush of the ancient sacrifice, she dreams a little, but she feels the dark encroachment of that old catastrophe, as a calm darkens among the water lights. The pungent orange and bright green wings seem like in some procession of the dead, winding across wide water without sound. The day is like wide water, without sound, stilled for the passing of her dreaming feet, over the seas to silent Palestine, dominion of the blood and sepulchre. Why should she give her bounty to the dead? What is the divinity of it can come? Only in silent shadows and in dreams? Shall she not find in comforts of the sun and pungent fruit and bright green wings, or else in any balm of beauty of the earth? Things to be cherished, like the thought of heaven? Divinity must live within itself. Passions of rain or moods in the falling snow, grievings in lonesome or unsubdued elations when the forest glooms, gusty emotions on wet roads on autumn nights, all pleasures and all pains, remembering the bow of summer and the winter branch. These are the measures destined for her soul. Jove in the clouds has his unhuman birth. No mother suckled him. No sweet land gave large-mannered motions to his mythy mind. He moved among us as a muttering king, magnificent, would move among his hinds, until our blood, calmingly virginal with heaven, brought such requital to desire the very hinds discerned it in a star. Shall our blood fail, or shall it come to the blood of paradise? And shall the earth seem all of the paradise that we shall know? The sky will be much friendlier than then now. A part of labor and a part of pain, and next in glory to enduring love, not this dividing and indifferent blue. She says,
I am content when wakened birds, before they fly, test the reality of misty fields by their sweet questionings. But when the birds are gone and their warm fields return no more, where then is paradise?
there is not any haunt in prophecy, nor any old chimera of this grave. Neither the golden underground nor isle, melodious where spirits get them home, nor visionary south, nor cloudy palm, remote on heaven's hill, that is endured as April's green endures, or will endure, like her remembrance of the awakened birds, or her desire of June and evening, tipped by the consummation of the swallow's wings. She says,
But in contentment I still feel the need of some imperishable bliss.
Death is the mother of beauty, hence from her alone shall come fulfillment to our dreams and our desires. Although she strews the leaves of sure obliteration in our paths, the path sick sorrow took, the many paths where triumph rang its brassy phrase, or love, whispered a little out of tenderness. She makes the willow shiver in the sun for maidens who are wont to sit and gaze upon the grass relinquished in their feet. She caused boys to pile new plums and pears on disregarded plate. The maidens taste and stray impassioned in the littering leaves. Is there no change of death in paradise? Does ripe fruit ever fall? Or do the boughs hang always heavy in that perfect sky, unchanging, yet so like our perishing earth, with rivers like our own that seek for seas? They never find the same receding shores that never touch with an articulate pang. Why set the pear upon those river banks, or spice the shores with odors of the plum? Alas, that they should wear our colors there, the silken weavings of our afternoons, and pick the strings of our insolent lutes. Death is the mother of beauty, mystical, within whose burning bosom we devise our earthly mothers waiting sleeplessly. Supple and turbulent, a ring of men shall chant an orgy on the summer morn, their boisterous devotion to the sun, not as a god, but as a god might be, naked among them like a savage source. Their chant shall be a chant of paradise, out of their blood returning to the sky. And in their chant shall enter, voice by voice, the windy lake wherein their Lord delights. The trees, like seraphim in echoing hills, that choir among themselves long afterward, they shall know well the heavenly fellowship of men that perish of sovereign morn. And whence they came and whither they shall go, the dew upon their feet shall manifest. She hears, upon that water without sound, a voice that cries, the tomb of Palestine is not the porch of spirits lingering, it is the grave of Jesus, where he lay. We live in an old chaos of the sun, or old dependency of day and light. Our island solitude, unsponsored, free, of that wide water, inescapable deer, walk upon our mountains, and the quail whistle about us their spontaneous cries, sweet berries ripen in the wilderness, and in the insulation of sky. At evening, casual flocks of pigeons make ambiguous undulations as they sink, downward to the darkness on extended wings. Something so easy to me. Hey guys, so today we're going to do Sunday Morning by Wallace Stevens. We're going to annotate it based on soapstone today. So let's remind ourselves what that stands for real quick. Soapstone, of course, stands for speaker, occasion, audience, purpose, subject, tone. As you can see, that spells out soapstone. Alright. So we'll start with speaker. So the speaker of the poem there's this guy watching this woman eating her breakfast and enjoying herself. He seems to be kind of intelligent and like well educated because he can quote, well, he can't quote, but he can reference mythology and Christianity and all sorts of things. So he's like, you can kind of think of him as a poet, even though he's not necessarily the author. The speaker is a well-educated writer. So occasion. The occasion of this is, as it says in the title, it's Sunday morning, and this guy's at home, or maybe not at home, but he sees this woman not at church, which is kind of irregular for being a Sunday morning. But he's surprised that she doesn't seem at all concerned or sad or anything. She's happy. She's enjoying her life. She's enjoying her breakfast and the nature around her, and he's like surprised by that. So he feels the need to ponder that. The audience, the speaker is mostly talking to himself. He's sort of philosophizing to himself about how this woman can be happy outside of church, and about God and God living outside of church and in nature and things. So the audience is mostly himself, although it could be perceived to be Christians in general, as it speaks sort of an alternate view of how God manifests himself in everyone's life. So the purpose of the poem is to examine the traditionally held ideals of Christianity, such as like the church and things like that, and to compare them to more ancient traditions, such as, well, there's numerous mentions of Jove, and on the other side, a ring of men chanting an orgy. So these are like pagans, and then Jove is a reference to Greek mythology. So the speaker is comparing the modern view of Christianity to ancient religions and methods of worshiping God or seeing God. So on the subject, it's pretty close to purpose. It's just God and how he manifests himself in nature. But also on the back, well, no, it's not really on the back, but in stanzas 5 through 8 and a little bit early on too, there's discussion of death, and especially in stanza number 6 and others, there's discussion of how death is change, and how without death, life would sort of be meaningless, as there's no hope for something better. So the speaker discusses how a heaven without death doesn't seem like such a good proposition, as the seasons won't change and nature won't be as beautiful as it is here on earth. So such a paradise wouldn't really be more of a paradise than earth already is. So, and on that note, at the end, the subject changes back to pure religion, where the woman that the speaker is observing hears a voice, seemingly the voice of God, telling her that Jesus wasn't special, and that Christianity really isn't anything special, and that God exists in nature and in the mountains and in the trees and everything, and that's where humans should focus their attention. So finally, tone. The tone of the poem is sort of awestruck by the end, as the man is processing all of the revelations that he sees through the woman, but also sort of enlightened, as the man feels that he has reached a better understanding of religion and what it means to live on earth and to know God. So all in all, it's pretty good. It's about God. Catch you guys next week.